I get goosebumps and chills when I talk on this shit.
Mr. Greezy Grumps.
Trigger warning. This video addresses sensitive topics for educational purposes, aiming to raise awareness about these issues. It is not intended to offend or expose anyone. All information presented is either public knowledge or the speaker's opinion.
I hope everyone's been taking care of themselves and being good to the people around them. Today I got a controversial topic from the streets of Toronto. Shout out to Ricky Dredd from the We Love Hip Hop Network for airing this story. I'm talking about Top 5 in this video called Top 5 Calls In, No More Dissing Ops. I'm going to bring the city together. We love hip hop. When I seen this video, I was like, finally the man came to his senses. I get it. When you're young in the streets, you feel untouchable, like you're the hardest man and no one can talk to you. I get it. I've been there and done that, but the truth of the matter is, there's a higher power over all of us. From the baddest, bad man to the squarest, square. Just know we reap what we sow. And if a man does good, his reward is good, and if a man does evil, his reward is evil. These are the rules of the universe that we as people have no control over, so it can work for you or against you. That's all up to you and the actions and deeds you commit and do good and bad. So my question today ultimately is, does a man deserve forgiveness and a second chance? The short answer is yes, but it's not that simple. In life, there's a scale. So everything is based on the scale it was placed. So what do I mean by that? For example, if a man robs 10 million people of their entire life savings and totally destroys all 10 million people's lives and says, sorry, please forgive me. Or versus the man that steals a $1 chocolate from the store and says, sorry, please forgive me. The forgiveness is due to both, if they are truly sincere. But the action to be forgiven are on two totally different scales. This is what I mean by scales. So, whereas in one case, like stealing the chocolate bar and saying, sorry, please forgive me, and never stealing again, might be enough to gain forgiveness. Versus the man that robbed 10 million people of their entire life savings and totally destroys all 10 million people's lives, saying, sorry, please forgive me is not enough, even if he never robs anyone ever again, as long as he lives. My point is, based on the scale an action or wrongdoing was committed, it's on that same scale that lies the burden or weight of lifting the bar, bettering oneself to gain forgiveness, all while seeking repentance. Meaning, these a dimension or part of seeking forgiveness that requires action and not just speech or talk. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? This is some ultra real talk. If you want all that bad luck and salt up stuff out of your life, come away from that which doesn't please him. If you know, Dean up, brother. In life, I've learned and try your best to be humble and always look at a situation from both sides, as hard as it may be sometimes. This protects you in life in many ways, one of which is from becoming an unjust or unfair person, or even an oppressor. And when a person chooses to walk down that road of being unjust, not fair, or even live your life oppressing other people, I promise you this, you won't get far. And when you reach your peak and feel like you're on top, that's when it will all come crashing down. And on the scale that you did your wrongdoings and slimy stuff, it's on that same scale a person's punishment or destruction comes, unless a person comes to their senses before their destruction reaches them. The universe has its own way of solving problems and giving solutions. Make sure you're on the right side of this most powerful force. Be blessed, not cursed. Now, this doesn't have to do with top 5. This is just in general, a quick tangent, if you will. I've noticed this myself. Notice when a man goes to jail, more time he comes to his senses. Not like a man shook from the system, but in a real way. But it's funny, though. It happens when we get away from all the drugs, booze, and bitches, and a man's mind actually has time to clear up and start think straight. Our bodies get healthier, so our minds get healthier. RNS, anyone notice this? A message to the courts and the system: you've been locking up people for a long time for the same problems that have gotten worse, so clearly locking people up doesn't work. And the statistical data also proves this. It's 2024, try something new. Maybe they should consider start listening to the alleged criminals. If they want real solutions, they need to get real insight. See what they have to say. At the end of the day, they're people too, with feelings and thoughts just like everyone else, you know. When people turn their back on you and you have no choices, you do what you have to. My point is, if they start some business or money-making programs where people can make real money, some might make different choices if they have options. You gotta ask yourself, why did they get locked up? For example, selling drugs, doing scams, robbing people, you get it. If it's allegedly a money-related crime, then help them open up their own business. If it's a violent crime, again, maybe they're angry because they have no money, no future, no options, and they're suffering, so they become bitter and angry and withdraw from society as they see they have no place in it. And take this approach to crime. This is real help, not just a punishment. If they want change, they have to put in real solutions to real problems, or everything else is a waste of time. Like the same way they help drug addicts committing crimes and have programs for them that deal with their specific challenges. Where are the programs for the young men and people overall stuck in the streets? If you never look at a situation from both sides, you can never say you were fair. I'm not advocating for alleged criminals or minimizing alleged crimes, but like I say, you can't say you were fair if you didn't look at it from both sides. And to those that disagree with me, to you I say, before you do, consider the points I've made so far and I'm making, and ask yourself if I'm just talking or if indeed they're logical points with sound merit to them, and what's their outcomes over a long-term period. When a man is rich or doing well, he doesn't want to risk it all and throw his life away. But when a man is poor and suffering, he'll do everything he can to try and stop his suffering. And when you're in such a state, more times than not, there's an element of desperation to get out of such a dire situation, which is everyday life for far too many men, women, and children in the hood and in the streets and on the streets. It seems this may be more of a matter of our human nature, as we're built to survive, than a matter of criminality. With that being said, I hope that gives you a fresh, new, rarely heard but truthful and realistic perspective to look at things from. With understanding comes education and knowledge, and with the correct knowledge comes change. So after hearing this, do you think Top 5 and people like Top 5 deserve a forgiveness for their actions? I'm not speaking about right or wrong, I'm bridging the gap of understanding. I hope I gave you something to think about, and if you walk away with something from this episode of Greezy Talk with your host, me, Mr. Greezy Grumps, then smash that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to all notifications. And always remember, if you never look at a situation from both sides, you can never say you were fair.
This one's personal.
Big flip, big flip, big flip, big flip.
I get goosebumps and chills when I talk on this shit. The fact I got cancer means I really got hits. Means the people really listen, so fuck they nonsense. Means they're really that real, never sold out for their profit.